A zillion stories in every deck.
Adventure Cards!
Hey kids, welcome back to Adventure Cards Kids TV. I'm your host, Richard Rosser, inventor of Adventure Cards. And behind the camera is my trusty sidekick, Sparky. Say hi, Sparky. Today, we're going to explore the ABCs, but this show isn't your ordinary ABC show. No, this episode is going to be chock full of riddles, jokes, and fun facts. Right, Sparky? Let's get started. Oh, right, Sparky. I forgot my adventure vest. I put on my adventure vest when I'm ready to create an adventure. It has lots of pockets where I keep my adventure cards. Today, Sparky and I put together a special deck of adventure cards just for this episode. Sparky, what are you laughing for? I'm trying to tell the kids about the special deck we put together. Let's see. Sparky and I put a special deck together for the... Sparky, stop laughing. Sparky and I put together a special deck of adventure cards, and we put the deck in one of the pockets of my adventure vest. Sparky, did you switch my adventure vest again? One of these days, I'm going to play a practical joke on Sparky and get him back. I put my adventure vest on when I'm ready to create an adventure. It has lots of pockets where I keep my adventure cards. Like I was saying before, Sparky and I prepared a special deck of adventure cards just for this episode. Then we hid the cards in one of the pockets of my adventure vest. Can you guess which pocket? Do you think it's this pocket right here? Let's see. Nope, those are animals. What about this pocket? Those are objects. Oh, Sparky says he thinks they're in this pocket right here. Do you think he's right? Let's see. Nope, those are places. Oh, are they in this pocket? No, that pocket's empty. Well, do you think I put the cards in a secret pocket of my vest? Let's see. Right here is a secret pocket, and those are the cards that we specially picked just for this episode. Now, do you know what's special about these cards? They're all arranged in alphabetical order. There's animals, objects, and places. Do you know what alphabetical order means? Sparky says he knows. All right, let's hear. No, Sparky, that's numerical order. 1, 2, 3, 4 is numerical order. Alphabetical order is by the alphabet. A, B, C, D. Every single one of these cards starts with a letter of the alphabet, starting with A, then B, and then C. And we're gonna play a game. Here's how the game works. I'm gonna act out each card using sound, motion, or detail. You try and guess the card. Remember, each animal, object, and place starts with the next letter of the alphabet. If you guess correctly, you score points. Are you ready? Here we go. Our first card is an object, and it starts with the letter A. I'm going to use motion to act out this object. Do you know the motion I'm making? Can you guess our object? It starts with the letter A. Did you guess an apple? If you guessed an apple, that's correct, and you score a point. What's worse than finding a worm in your apple? Taking a bite and finding half a worm. Hey, Sparky, here's a riddle for you. What kind of an apple isn't an apple? A pineapple. What's another way that I could act out an apple? Ooh, I could use 3 details. Let's see. An apple's red, an apple's a fruit, and an apple is crunchy. So red, crunchy, fruit. Do you think you'd be able to guess an apple? What's the third way we could act out an apple? With sound. That's kind of tough though. Let's try. I don't know. That doesn't sound very good. It takes 2 pounds of apples to make a pie. An average apple tree produces up to 840 pounds of fruit a year. Sir Isaac Newton discovered gravity when an apple fell from a tree. I wonder if it hit him on the head. Here we go with the letter B. This is also an object. I'm going to use details to describe this object. Ready? It can be red, it has a string, and it floats. Do you know the object I'm describing? Sparky, no, it's not an apple. I know apples are red. And I know apples float, but apple starts with A. This object starts with B. Do you know what I'm describing? Let me describe it one more time. It can be red, it has a string, and it floats. Did you guess a balloon? If you guessed a balloon, that's correct, and you score a point. What's another way that we could act out a balloon? Oh, what about motion? I blew up the balloon, tied a string to it, and now it's floating in the air. That's another way that we can act out a balloon as our object. I've got one for you. What music are balloons afraid of? Pop music. I was gonna make a balloon weasel, but it popped. The first rubber balloon was made by Michael Faraday in 1824. Tethered balloons, otherwise known as blimps, have been used since the First World War for defense against planes. The first glass-bottom hot air balloon was launched in 2010 at the Bristol International Balloon Fiesta. I hope you're not afraid of heights. Here goes the third letter in the alphabet. That would be A, B, C. This one is a place. I'm going to use details to describe the place. Remember, it starts with the letter C. You ready? Where kings live. Do you know where kings live? Did you guess a castle? If you guessed a castle, that's correct, and you score a point. Where do Dairy Queen and Burger King go to dinner? White Castle. Why'd the king leave his castle to go to the dentist? To get his teeth crowned. The first castles were made of wood, but eventually they were built from stone. Castles were often built on hilltops or surrounded by water to make them easier to defend. The word castle comes from the Latin word castellum, meaning fortress. We'll be back with the letter D after this ad.
Adventure Cards!
If your card doesn't work, go to the airport and buy a ticket and go wherever you want. Airport, gateway to the world.
Okay, kids, we're back and ready for the letter D. This one's also an object. Oh, I'm going to use sound to act out this object. Ready? Do you know the object? Sparky, no, it's not a trumpet. Did that sound like a trumpet? Here, let me try it again. Do you know the object? Did you guess a drum? If you guessed a drum, that's right, and you score a point. What'd you think of my drum sound? Not bad, huh? Let me hear you make a drum sound. Ready? And go. All right, that sounds good. You could play the drum in a marching band. What's another way that I could act out a drum? Oh, what about motion? Does that look like I'm playing a drum? Oh, we could also use details. Let's see. Drums are round. You play them with sticks, and they go boom. So round, sticks, boom. If I said those details, do you think you'd be able to guess a drum? Why did the chicken join a band? Because he already had drumsticks. In 2012, the record of the longest drum roll by a single person was set by Christopher Anthony in a shopping center. He drummed for 8 hours, 1 minute, and 17 seconds. Drumming for fun actually reduces stress. Wow, we're making great progress. We're already on the 5th letter of the alphabet. That would be A, B, C, D, E. The next card starts with the letter E. It's an animal, and I'm going to use motion to act out this animal. Ready? Do you know the animal? Here, let me do it again. Sparky, it's not a monkey. I know, okay, it might look a little bit like a monkey's tail, but it's not. It's something else. Do you know the animal? Here, let me do it one more time. Did you guess an elephant? If you guessed an elephant, you're correct, and you score a point. What's another way that we can act out an elephant? Oh, what about sound? Let's try making an elephant sound. Ready? Oh, not bad. Let me hear you try. Ready? And go. That's great. Nice try. Let's keep practicing and we'll get better and better at making an elephant sound. Now, what's another way that we can act out our elephant? We could describe our elephant with details. Let's see. So an elephant has a trunk and big ears. So if we said something like trunk, big ears, those are 3 words that we could describe an elephant. Sparky, what do you think? If I described an elephant saying trunk, big ears, do you think you'd guess an elephant? No? You'd guess a mouse? I don't think so. Hey Sparky, why don't you ever see elephants hiding behind trees? Because they're good at it. What's gray, has a wand, huge wings, and gives money to elephants? The Tusk Fairy. Why does an elephant wear sneakers? So he can sneak up on mice. What's gray, beautiful, and wears glass slippers? Cinderelephant. Elephants communicate using grunts, bellows, whistles, and trumpeting. A mother elephant is called a cow. A father elephant is called a bull. And a baby elephant is called a calf. Elephants don't really like peanuts. That's just a myth. Are you ready for the letter F? Let's pick a card. This card is a place that starts with the letter F. Let me use some details to describe the place. Ready? Round carnival ride. Do you know the ride I'm describing? Did you guess a Ferris wheel? If you guessed a Ferris wheel, you're right, and you score a point. Here's a riddle for you. What has 1 wheel, spins, but never moves? A Ferris wheel. One of the most famous Ferris wheels in the world is called the London Eye. Ferris wheels are also referred to as a big wheel, observation wheel, or giant wheel. We'll be back with the letter G after this ad.
Adventure Cards!
Are you tired of going to the market and having to come home and cook dinner? Then you need a wolf to cook and fetch your food.
Do you know what letter's next? How about the letter G? This card is an animal. I'm going to use motion to act out this animal. Ready? Do you know the animal? Did you guess a gorilla? If you guessed a gorilla, that's correct, and you score a point. What's another way that we can act out a gorilla? Well, what about details? Let's see. 3 words that describe a gorilla. What about really big monkey? Would that do it, do you think? Well, what sort of sound would a gorilla make? Something like, Does that sound like a gorilla? I don't know. You tell me. What's a gorilla's favorite cookie? A chocolate chimp. What do you feed a 600-pound gorilla? Anything it wants. Why did King Kong climb the Empire State Building? Because he couldn't fit in the elevator. What should you do if you find a gorilla sitting at your school desk? Sit somewhere else. Gorillas eat leaves, fruit, and bark. They like ants and worms for dessert. A full-grown gorilla is over 6 feet tall and weighs almost 500 pounds. He's as strong as 8 men. Gorillas communicate using gestures, facial expressions, vocal sounds, and chest slaps. Are you ready for the final card in today's episode? It's the letter H. All right, it's an object, and I'm going to use motion to act out the object. Do you know what I acted out? Did you guess a hammer? If you guessed a hammer, that's correct, and you score another point. What's another way we could act out a hammer? What sort of details could we use to describe a hammer? Well, let's see. Hit a nail. Oh, would that describe a hammer? I think so. Sparky, what do you think? Yeah? All right. What do you call a shy person with a hammer? Bashful. What did the hammer say after a job well done? Nailed it. Early versions of the hammer were made of stone. A hammer with a wooden or rubber head is called a mallet. Thanks for joining Sparky and me for this exploration of ABC's Part 1. Do you know what time it is now? Sparky, no, it's not time for part 2. It's time for you to go on a search for letters in the alphabet. As you go out into the world, keep an eye out for the letters A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H. Then report back to Sparky and me and let us know what you found in the comments section below. That's it for this episode of Adventure Cards Kids TV. I'll see you soon. Oh, and so will Sparky.
A zillion stories in every deck.
Adventure